Hey, Lariah, I wanted to leave you some feedback on SA2. As a whole, I think that this is working quite well. Um, I like the points, the visual points that you bring into the paper. So I like that you recognize uh, and talk about the text and how it resembles um, the opening to the Constitution and that font style, which to like the 21st century eye feels like a little dated. Um, uh, and I also like that you spend so much time talking about the fact that the crowd is on their knee and what the connection to Kaepernick is. I also like your discussion of audience and how you're pointing to how the cartoon is in direct opposition to some of the things that Trump and the First Lady have done and said. So I think as a whole, it's working pretty well. There's just a couple areas here and there that I want to talk to you about in terms of revision. So the thesis, I think, is what needs the most work. Um, I think what throws me off is the idea of through art the most, because that's too broad and vague. I think that if you were somehow able to discuss a specific visual technique, or maybe, yeah. So I like here. This is what I was going to suggest, that you talk about both race and diversity. So maybe it's just scrapping this idea and saying Bagley brings to light the injustices that are being ignored by the people in power. You don't need a comma here, by showing diversity in both race and gender, and by adding shirts to showcase each human rights concern. Um, I get what you're doing here. I do think that the shirts feel a little bit out of context. So I think perhaps if you said by showing diversity, what, oh yeah, well there it is, by showing diversity in both race, comma, gender, and maybe like political activism, um right? Because the shirts throws the reader off until they get, down to this section where you actually start talking about the shirts. But in the thesis itself, it's kind of awkward. Yeah. So, and I think what's missing here, um, after taking a deeper look, the depth of meaning is brought forward for further discussion. And what I would do is probably put a colon here and then state specifically what the meaning is. So you say here that that the artist brings to light the injustices, but what specifically is he discussing in terms of the injustices, right? That the people are united around these ideas, that the people should be united, right? There's a lot of different ways that I think that you can interpret that, but it feels like this part's missing here. So there's a little bit of tweaking needed. I love all the ideas in this paragraph. However, I got a little bit I feel like the organization needs some tweaking, because you jump back and forth between the image to Kaepernick, back to the image, and it's a little bit of whiplash for the reader. So academic readers like grouped, or excuse me, academic readers prefer similar content grouped together. So I think all the ideas in this paragraph are good. It's just if they could be reorganized more effectively. Um, by either just talking about Kaepernick first and then pivoting to the image, or talking about the image and then pivoting to how you interpret it, right? That it's a nod to Kaepernick and what he's done. I think that it'll read much stronger. Also, be certain to edit for second person you. So this point of view is far too informal to use in professional writing, because it's too close to formal language. So I would just refer to the viewer, or just talk about the image itself rather than talking directly to the reader. So as a whole, I think it's working pretty well. There's just some tweaks here and there that I think that will make this paper stronger. All right, let me know if you have questions. Thanks.